If you're thinking about making a move to the city of Temecula, California, or you just want to know more about what the city has planned over the next year, you're definitely going to want to watch this video. I just went to a meeting with the city manager for the city of Temecula, and he laid out their plan over the next 12 months, talking about all the new improvements they have going on, all the different projects they have underway, and really what's going to change in the city over the next 12 months. So if you want to know more, you're definitely going to want to check it out. So let's go ahead and get into it. Hey guys, hey again, my name is Justin Short. I am a realtor and team leader for the Short Real Estate team here in Temecula, California and Murrieta, California. And this video, like I mentioned, is all about the changes that are coming to the city of Temecula over the next 12 months. So I had a really cool opportunity. I got to go to a city managers meeting, which had reps from all the different surrounding cities, and they gave us their plans over the next year and talked about all the new things that are coming, all the new infrastructure, the new, shopping centers, all that type of stuff. And really, I think it was a really good lens to see, what the goals of each city are over the next year. So I thought it was a pretty cool thing. We did actually make this video series last year, and it was actually one of the videos that we got the most amount of feedback on. So a lot of people liked it, I think, because it just talks about, the future and what's going to be changing over the next year, right? So the first thing, if you are liking videos like these and you want to know more about the city of Temecula, Murrieta, or Menifee, or any of the surrounding areas, do me a favor, please hit like, please hit subscribe. So we've got a ton of videos all about the cities, talking about best neighborhoods, where you want to live, where you don't want to live, pros and cons, all that type of stuff. So you definitely subscribe if you want to see more of that. And then also, if you have any real estate questions, of course, we'd love to hear from you guys. So we have people that reach out to us all the time. My personal cell phone number is up there. You can feel free, you can call, you can text, you can email. Of course, love answering questions from you guys. Happy to help in any way that we can, or at least give you the right advice and point you in the right direction. Or if we can do anything to help with your actual move, of course, we'd love to help you do that too. So, but let's go ahead and we'll get into all the info here. Cool. So the first thing that they started with, so the city manager went up there, right? He's kind of getting to his spiel, and he talked about some of the things that he was most proud of as that the city is most proud of. And what I thought was some pretty cool stats. So the average household income for the city of Temecula is definitely up year over year. I think the last stats I showed, it was right about $110,000 per year. It was the last thing I could find online. That was probably a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. And so right now the average household income is up to over $143,000 for the city of Temecula. So that was something they were super proud of. They felt like the city has grown as they've added more people. They've been able to attract higher income earners and more income, more higher paying jobs, etc. So they're super happy about that. And then the average age of somebody in the city of Temecula now is 36.1 years old. So 36 years old, right? And I think that I think you see that on a daily basis, right? As far as a lot of young families out there, a lot of that tends to be 36-year-old, probably of the age to have young kids, etc., right? And there are now 55,600 total jobs in the city. So that was surprising to me, because that's something, if you watch some of the other videos, that I always mention as probably the one thing that we don't have here is just not a ton of actual jobs. I do think that is probably a lot of retail jobs and food restaurant businesses, things like that, right? So I don't know that there's still a ton of high paying, career, high income earning jobs locally. So that's why so many people live here and commute out, right? But it's definitely a step in the right direction. And so he was pretty happy about that. And the other thing they talked about is just the tourism. So the tourism has changed so much here locally over the last 10 years. There was less people that visited this last year, so 2022, as opposed to pre-COVID, right? So they haven't quite recovered. So at the peak, they were getting up to about 3 million visitors per year for tourism. So it is down just a little bit, but still it's 1 million millions of people each year that are coming. I'm sure it's well over 2 million people each year. They didn't give us an exact number, but tons of people that are coming, which means they're coming out to visit the winery. They are spending money out there. That's income tax that the city is earning, right? They're going to the Old Town area, they're going shopping, etc. And it's just such a drastic change over the last 10 years. Or I've lived here over 20 years, so I mean, it's kind of something you would never even consider. So that's something that they're really proud of. And just about with the tourism and with the businesses that they have, is that so much of the revenue that the city receives is from sales tax. So right, so basically what I mean is most of the surrounding area doesn't have those businesses, right? So pretty much all of their income, the way the city makes money, right, and is able to spend money on projects and things like that, is from property tax. So you own a house, you own a piece of land, you pay property tax on it. City earns income, right? That's income from the city for that, right? Whereas opposed to Temecula is kind of the one outlier here locally, because they do have so many different businesses and shopping centers, car dealerships, and Old Town and casino and wineries, etc., where they actually have most of their income comes from sales tax. So that's a big plus for them, right? Where they actually have the businesses that are creating money for the city, so they can then take that money and invest it in other parts of the area. And they're also projecting for their revenue to go up 30% over the next 5 years. So basically that means they think the area is going to continue to grow, right? They think businesses are going to continue to thrive, tourism is going to continue to come, people are going to continue to spend money, and they're on a growth trajectory, and that's what they're planning for, so which I think is pretty cool. All right, so the next thing I wanted to talk about is right now, the city of Temecula, their highest priority and their big focus is all about safety. So they did not mention this, but I know this, that the city of Temecula has been ranked one of the safest cities in the United States for each year in the last decade. I think they got up to the top 10, either 8 or 9. They've been in the top 20 several times, but this last year they were actually not included. So, which I think was a surprise for a lot of people. Probably most people don't track it like a realtor would, right? But basically, they want to get back to that. So the city's new slogan right now is Temecula Safe, right? They've actually invested a lot of money into safety and public safety. So right now, 57% of the expenses that the city spends money on is on public safety. So that means that's fire departments, police departments, any of that type of stuff. And so it's a big thing for them. So they just hired 10 new deputies, including a chunk of those people are going to be part of what they call the Metro team, so which means it's like an extra task force that's assigned to Old Town Temecula. So if you don't live around here, so Old Town Temecula, it really is probably the one area that has a pretty vibrant nightlife, right? So there's bars and restaurants and stuff that open Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They're open late. They get people down there, and a lot of people go down there and have a good time and party and whatnot. But with that, it comes a little bit of riffraff, right? So they have a special Metro team that's going to be assigned to Old Town to help make sure that it's a safe area and keep anything unwanted at bay. So that's a big thing. That's their big push. Is all about Temecula Safe right now, which is kind of cool, which I think is a good thing. All right, and then the next thing that they had talked about is just some of the awards that the city has won over the last year, right? So it's something they're obviously proud of, right? They want to tout themselves as a great place to live and a great place to be. So they've won some awards for the 10 most beautiful places in California. They won an award for 15 of the best U.S. cities for a weekend trip, 12 the top 12 most charming small towns in California, and I think they won. I didn't write it down, but I think it's top 5 safest cities to go Halloween trick-or-treating, right? So basically, they're trying to say, hey, Temecula is on the map in throughout the country, right? They're getting recognition, people notice it, people know about it. It's a desirable place to go. We have tourism that's coming in, and Temecula is a place to be, right? And that's kind of what they're getting at. All right, and then they talked a little bit about some of the events that they were proud of that the city puts on. So I get the number one was the New Year's Eve grape drop. So Times Square has the big ball that drops right at midnight, and everyone parties, right? So Temecula does the same thing. They do it with the grape drop. So there's a wine country, right? A bunch of wineries, so they do the grape, and they say I've actually never been, but they're super proud of it, and they are glad that it's back, post COVID, etc. And then the Temecula, chilled on ice. So they put on an ice rink in Old Town for that the city puts on, and that's actually a really cool thing. So one of the wineries does an ice rink as well, but it's a cool time, something they were super happy of, and something they were happy to invest, the money that the city makes into these different community events, which is cool. And then the next thing that they had talked about is just like some of the new things that they've been able to open up over the last handful of months. So they talked about there's 2 new pump tracks that they just opened up within city limits over the last year. So pump tracks are like little kind of like almost like a racetrack, right, for bikes and pump bikes. So if you don't know what they are, your kids probably do. But and then they opened up a new sports park. So the Sports Ranch at Summers Bend. So that's actually by where I live. I live in that community. It's a big, huge sports park. It's super cool. There's 2 big baseball fields. There's 2 huge full-size soccer fields with turf, like really, really nice turf. There's like a park. There's a couple basketball courts. It's a really an impressive place, and it's a free public sports park where they do all types of events. So I was doing like softball or baseball or soccer tournaments and all types of stuff, and it's only been open like less than a year, so which is cool. All right, and then the last thing that they talked about was just all the new coming soon projects that they have going on. So to me, I think this is the most interesting, right? Because I want to know what's happening over the next handful of months, over the next year, which I think was kind of cool. So they have some projects that the city is actually taking on, and then also like some of the stuff that's teamed up with Caltrans and more infrastructure stuff. So as far as what the city is actually doing, so there's a new rec center that's being built. We're at the Murrieta Rec Center. So there has been one there previously. They're totally redoing it. They're expanding it. They're going to have a new multi-purpose room. They're going to have a new dance and fitness room, a new classroom, new kitchen. They're going to have new restrooms with showers, and they're going to have a new community pool. So and that pool's going to have a diving board, so which is cool. So it's a total revamp. The park really wasn't even that old. I think they're just expanding really the rec center there to make it more, make it bigger and more usable. There's also a splash pad there that's part of the park as well, which is nice. They're also renovating the senior center. So I guess it's the Mary Phillips Senior Center. They're doing a renovation there to really spruce it up, so which is cool. And they are putting a new splash pad in at the CRC. So at the community, there's the Ronald Reagan Sports Park, and then they're putting in a new splash pad at the CRC. So it's at the Ronald Reagan Sports Park, and that one's going to be new. And they are also renovating one of the fire stations. So Fire Station 84 is getting a full renovation. I think that's supposed to be completed this year as well. All right, and then the actual infrastructure stuff that's going on, and probably like out of there's 6 cities that spoke, and they all kind of gave their their information on what's going on and the changes, etc. But like the one item that got the biggest like applause, like people were like clapping and cheering, is this, and it's the I-15 and French Valley Parkway expansion, so which is on phase 2. So basically what that is they are adding lanes that are going to help the commuters coming northbound. So in the evening commute, you get the rush hour, the freeways get jammed up, right? I can actually see it right out my window right here, right? So it gets all jammed up. So they're adding new lanes. It's really going to help on the commute. So that's where the French Valley Parkway is going in at, and so 2 northbound lanes that are going to be added, and then from there they are also going to add lanes from where Temecula Parkway is, so which is a little bit further south, and then once that's completed, they're going to add lanes in off Rancho California, which is an off-ramp, and then also off of Winchester, which is an off-ramp. So those are like the big Caltrans stuff that's going in that the city's super excited about, because if you commute here, the commute can really suck, and it's getting more and more traffic, and so it's going to be it's a huge thing for quality of life, and that's going to be starting I think over the next couple months. So that'll be a good thing for everybody. They're also doing a new roundabout out off of D. Portola and Jedediah Smith, so which is a couple roads more close to South Temecula. They're widening one of the main roads in town, which is Yinez Road, and we're really happy about some new affordable housing projects that they have going on. So there are a total of 5 new apartment complexes that are in process of being built. I think but that's a pretty wide array. That's from like plans being submitted to actually starting construction, but 5 new apartment complexes and 1 new senior housing development. So that one, it's almost going to have like 500 units, so 494 units. And then there is a new preschool that's going in. So White Barn Academy is like supposed to be a huge, massive preschool. And they actually have a few hotels that are going in as well. And then the hotels that they have going in, so they actually have 3 hotels. So one of them, it's a 117 room hotel. They have another that is like a 50 room luxury hotel, and they have a third one, which is going to be another luxury hotel with like almost like a resort type of feel that they have. That's still going through approval process with the city right now. So for me, as a realtor, I have a lot of clients that come in from out of town, right? And it can sometimes be tough to find a place to stay, right? Not always, there's not a ton of Airbnbs that are around locally, so they're always looking for different hotels. There's not a ton of great options, so that is something that I've always felt was like a missing hole, and like somewhere where someone could capitalize is having a couple nice hotels. So hopefully as those get up and running, that's really going to help people and probably help the tourism, right? Help people coming in from wine country and all that type of stuff. So which I think is probably a good thing. So anyways, so that's what they went over at the meeting. That's the stuff that's going on in the city of Temecula over the next 12 months. Hopefully give you guys a pretty good perspective on what's going on, some of the new projects, what the city is proud of, and the new changes that are coming over the next year. If you guys have any questions or anything we can do to help you out, you can feel free to reach out. Like I said, you can call, text, or email, and hopefully talk to you guys soon. Thanks.